let's thank Mara Soror, his wife and family, for hosting tonight. I asked him mamash less than 24 hours ago. Also Maor. So some guys answer like that. So Hashem should give them blessing that the house should always have Yeshua, Simcha, and carrying off the beracha from Adam's double header hosting. So now it's coming, and the torch keeps on going, and hopefully we keep it always lit. And thank for the sponsors tonight, Avi Nisim and Anonymous. Whoever he is in the world, Hashem should bless him, right? And bless Avi Nisim, Hatzlacha, and Simcha, and Yeshua. And the money goes to Lev Aharon. Mara speak Lev Aharon, it's beautiful. So they do a lot of Torah over there. So Baruch Hashem, all the words should go and help out. There's so much to talk about. But before we start, we'll have the Torah should be for Lu Nishmat. A lot of people. Unfortunately, this week we saw a lot of things this week. A lot of things going on. All different places in the world. All different places. Not to mention anything particular, but it's always sad to hear things that we don't really comprehend. We don't understand how it makes sense. We get like blindsided by it. And not only that, as we're speaking, mamash now. Last night should be L'Nei Shmat. Not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six even, not 7, 8 neshamot today. A whole family passed away in a car accident. Today, just happened a few hours ago in Israel, on the way to the Dead Sea, Yam Melech. Regular Jewish family, regular family. They got a very bad accident, and boom, just like that. Whole entire. It wasn't like usually Hashem leaves someone else to continue the family. So this one, the whole entire family was taken. 2 parents, obviously, and 6 children. Hashem Yishmor. Terrible thing. Like, you can't even comprehend how did that happen. It's, the whole family means there's nothing left. The house is empty. There's nothing there. The family is just out of this world. No remnants. No zecher. So at least tonight we can continue if you look at it, read the story after. I mean, we'll probably hear more details later on. But just sad to see that we never know. Life is very, very short, and in a minute, whatever you work for in whole life, you can lose it. So the moments we have to appreciate, every moment we have in life, we have to just say thank you, Hashem. Really, every moment, just appreciate. It's not an easy thing to say. It's for granted we say it. But you wake up in the morning, you say Modeh Ani, thank you God that I woke up the next morning. It's a miracle. Some people feel it more than others, but if you take a second to think about it, in one day, people, gone. I'm not going to talk about what happened, in other places. Where was it? In Pittsburgh, right? People, for whatever situation it was, right? Even if it's a regular human being, it's hard to hear that, right? Not unless it's a Jewish person. You have someone who's 97 years old, a Holocaust survivor. She withstood the concentration camps, right? She survived that, but she didn't make this guy. You never know when time to go. But at least we know that the one thing we can strengthen is always achdut, and get together, and always, sharing together, whether it's happiness or other things, always be together. It's one thing that Am Yisrael has, is that we're always trying to keep it together. And we can at least rely on that to be happy. So tonight's class, Hashem should be, in honor of the neshamot, and Hashem should give us salvation soon. That Hashem, He should give us happiness, and we should only, hear joyous occasions. Amen. Amen. That being said, I want to try to shift the atmosphere. Again, whatever happened, Hashem takes them and they're in Gan Eden. So that's Hashem's plans. We don't understand it. We don't understand it at all. But He runs the world. Baruch Danan Hamet. He is the one who runs the world, and it's hard to understand it. It's very hard, especially children. When they do wrong in their life, it's very hard to hear it. But Hashem was tzaddik, right? Hashem knows what He's doing, and we have full trust in Him. So the Parashat talks about a lot of different things. About Sarah passing away, about all different types of angles in the Parashat, but there's one angle that I think I really decided, I was deciding what I should pick. Trust me, when I decide to make classes, it's like I have so many different things to talk about, what people are going to like, what they're going to get interested. I decided to take tonight a different angle. The angle tonight is going to be, what is the pillar of a Jewish marriage? What's the pillar of love, according to the Torah? We're going to talk about tonight what love is about, but according to the eyes of the Torah, not according to scientists or psychologists or mentalists. Right? You have people who have different. I was reading like a whole bunch of different theories. They have a triangle theory: intimacy, compassion, and whatever it was. I forgot the third one. It was like respect, whatever it was. Right? You have all these type of theories that if you do something, you'll get. If you don't do that, all these things. And we're going to see if it makes sense, if it compares to what the Torah says. And tonight, B'ezrat Hashem, will know a major important thing when looking for a wife, or if we have a wife, or even in general, just knowing how to keep a Jewish marriage still running, and how to fix it, and how to make it work like a nice, smooth running machine. There's definitely pointers in here, and it's not that many. It's not so many words. It's like maybe one or two words, but there's so much that's involved. So we'll begin. There's a Masechet Bava Kama. It says a very interesting thing. There's a concept in the Torah that whenever you want to find out what something means, you have to go to the first time it was ever written in Torah. So like the Gemara says, Amar Rabbi Yehoshua, Haroeh tet b'halom. If someone's going to sleep, right, in the middle of his dream, he has a letter tet in his dream. I don't know, for some reason he was thinking he saw a shoe with letter tet, or he saw a car that had a tet on it. If he saw a tet in his dream, the Gemara says you're going to have a good dream, tov. Why? He says, because the first time that the Torah ever wrote the word tet, the letter tet, it was tov. Ki tov. So the first time the word tet was used was with the word tov. So he says that's where you know that tet is always a good thing. Tet, 9, whatever it means.
You can have a good day, would you say?
Whatever you saw, tet, if you a dream, if it was a tet in your dream, you're going to have the exact words.
Tet in the office.
Siman yafeh, it's a good sign. Whatever it is, you saw tet, you're rolling. Tonight, put a big sign on your door, on your window, you probably go to sleep, right? Write a big tet and you dream about it. See a tet, you have a good thing.
Does that work or not?
I don't know, I've never tried it before. I don't know. I can only sell it. I can't really, I don't know if it works. But the Gemara says it. So I'm telling you what the concept is that. Masechet Bava Kama, Daf Nun Hey. It says, whenever you see a tet, you mean that it's going to have a good thing. Why? Because tet is the first time we wrote it, tov. So from here you learn that every time there's a new concept that you want to learn about, go the first time that it was written about. Like if you want to know about what ruach is, what wind is, go to the first time. What light is, go to the first time. So we want to know tonight what love is about. So we can go to the first time as the Torah mentions love between a husband and wife. Look, love was used before with Abraham. Hashem tells Abraham, take your son, kach et bincha, the one you love. That's between a father and a son. But I want to go to man and woman. So the first time that we ever see the concept of ahava is by Yitzchak and Rivka. This is Parashat. The first time you're ever going to see the love between a man and a woman. And from here you're going to learn what it is. What is love all about? Because it's a little bit different than we think it is. A little bit different. The world might get things most of the time correct, but this one, it's a little bit off.
Hollywood's not right?
Hollywood, again, they can make a movie that's right, but most of the time it's not right. The Torah gives you an exact idea of what love is going to be, what should be, and if it's not, we should have a picture of what it could be. It's very important to understand that tonight you're going to hear things that maybe it might be the first time you heard it, but we could always, get a dose of what the Torah says love is. It's an amazing thing. The Torah is it's everything. It's mental, it's psychological, it's physical, it's spiritual. It's just so much things. If you just know how to use the words correctly, you got tons of pointers. I mean, sometimes in class, boys say, Rabbi, I know science. I don't know science, but the Torah teaches you science. You learn everything from science. From the Torah. Everything comes from here. Every single thing you want to know about, it's all in Torah. So, that being said, Eliezer, the son, the Eved of Abraham, the servant, he's sent by Abraham to go find a wife for his son Yitzchak. He sends him out on a mission. Go get a woman for my son. So we know the story that he goes look for a woman, and he says, I'm going to go find a woman. And the way I know that she's a good woman, right, for Yitzchak, is if she does chesed. Right? What chesed does she do? He brings with him 10 camels. Right? He says, the woman that offers me and my camels water to drink, I know that she's the perfect woman that for my master's son Yitzchak to marry. Again, he's not saying if she has green eyes and blonde hair. Right? Someone likes that. People like that. I don't know. I'm just not giving preferences. I'm just saying in general. Some people have different preferences, right? Exterior looks. He's not saying that. He's not saying if she has a certain height. He's saying straight up, if the woman offers me and my camels to drink water, she is a perfect woman. That's what I'm going to take for Yitzchak. And the Gemara, in fact, the Gemara says of Eliezer, he did a very bad thing. The Gemara blames Eliezer and says, you made a big mistake. The Gemara says, what happens if a girl came and she offered drinking water and it was let's say a prostitute? Or if it was a girl that had, she was a mamzeret, she was someone that you can't marry. So then you have to marry her. Then you can't marry someone like that. So how could you make a prompt and say, the one who gives food and drink to my camels is going to be the one I'm going to marry? You see from here that Eliezer was basing his whole marriage of Yitzchak, the whole thing, is on one thing, on kindness, on chesed, on doing acts of kindness. That's the whole entire marriage. It wasn't like, there was other things about it. If she does this and if she does other things, it's only one thing. If she helps me out, I want her. So if you can learn about one thing from here, is that we see already the beginning of their marriage was based on one thing, kindness. First thing, before you check anything, it's got to be chesed. Okay. He takes her. They have the whole story where he goes to the house. Last week's Parashat that they met. This week's Parashat, that they go into the house and they met the brother and the sister Lavan, and they met the father and the whole story. I want to cut to a certain point. After Eliezer realizes that he likes Rivka, that she's the one, she has different similarities, and she has the traits and features that he thinks are going to be good for Yitzchak. By the way, it's very interesting. He tested her not only to see if she was kind, but also to see if she was smart. Why? You see, people could be very kind, but not very smart. Right? I can do chesed to anybody, let somebody walk into my house and rob the house. That's not really being so smart. That's actually doing the opposite of what Hashem wants you to do. You have to be smart. So he said, you have to make sure she's smart. So they tested her. How did he test her? He wanted to see if she had derech eretz and if she was smart. How? See, if a woman, Rivka, let's say, she gets the water, and she goes now to give water to Eliezer. And he drinks. Say he drinks from this thing, from the bucket, he drinks, and now he finishes the bucket and he has more water left. And gives it to Rivka. She could do two things. She could take the water, spill it out, and fill up water for the camels. That's one idea. Or she could take the bucket with the water inside and spills it out on the floor. That means that she has a lack of derech eretz. It's like, it's not really so nice. It would be like a spit in the face. Like, oh, you finished drinking, okay, spit it out, clean it, and wash it. Right? It wouldn't look so nice. But, if that same cup that someone drank from, and I go ahead and pass that cup to somebody else, would that also be smart? Right? If you drink a cup of whatever it is, and I pass it around to the whole table, it wouldn't be smart. Because we don't know if someone's carrying a certain sickness or whatever, if someone has a cold, it catches on, there's germs. So you have to know how to decipher. You can't spill it out in front of the person and embarrass him, and you can't pass it around the same cup. So she took the cup of water and she gave it to the camels. This way she was yotzeh everything. She was clear of all things. She was clear of the problem of spilling it out. She was smart not to embarrass him. And she was clear not to pass the cup around. She gave it to the camels. She knew both levels. She knew how to be smart and how to have kindness. So he checked to see that. It wasn't just like, I'll take anybody. He had to see a couple of things. Wow. After he found out that she was the proper one, they go back home. They're calling now, they're bringing Eliezer, he's bringing Rivka back home to Yitzchak's house where he lives, and they're going to make a marriage. Very interesting. Pasuk says that Yitzchak is out in the field. Yitzchak is out in the field, and he sees Rivka. But something very different happens. Pasuk says, "Vayitze Yitzchak lasuach basadeh." Yitzchak is walking around the field. He went to go pray. Vayisa enav vayad. He lifts his eyes and he sees on the horizon, in the distance, vayad v'hineh gimalim ba'im. He sees on the distance. He sees camels coming. He sees camels coming. Who's on the camels? Obviously, who's on the camels? Mars. Eliezer and Rivka. They're on the camels coming to Yitzchak. Wouldn't it seem a little strange to say? Yitzchak looks up and he sees camels coming. Hello? Don't you see Rivka? Don't you see any human beings? You only see camels? Is that the way? I go to the farm. I only see, it's a hard example. I see a guy traveling in a car, right? I only see the tires. You see the whole car. What do you mean? I only see the tires.
No. You see the car. You don't see the guy inside the car.
Right. That's hard to say.
That's what you didn't say.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why you said the car.
I'm trying to give an example of how it could be.
A camel's 6 times the size of
Yeah, a guy's riding on the camel.
Yeah, but he's not sitting on
You see the guy on the camel.
In the distance, you see the camel bopping along. You don't really
Okay, like that.
You go to your in-laws' house and you only see the horse. In-laws' house, the old farm animals.
Where?
Okay.
Another drink.
Sometimes
Some animals that I'm
sometimes you see something, and sometimes you don't. Pasuk says, Yitzchak lifts his eyes and he sees camels coming. Does not say he mentions that he sees Rivka. The question I have is, why don't you see Rivka? You're going to marry this girl, you know she's coming to you, you're expecting a shidduch in the mail to come to you, express mail. You know she's coming to you. Aren't you expecting a beautiful woman to come? You're excited. You're probably out there in the field searching for the woman. Wouldn't you see her first? Or at least wait till the camels come. They come closer and then say, oh, I see her now. The camels came 100 feet away, I see the girl now. Vayisa vayadet Rivka. He only sees the camels? So from here you have a little lesson. A deeper meaning. What does it mean when he sees camels? Camels represent, a gamal represents chesed. Camel always represents chesed. A horse represents something else, and a donkey represents something else, and a pig is something else. But a camel is always chesed. Why? We once said this one time. Camel has one trait of it, that when you come to attack a camel, a gamal, it's called gomel. Why is it called gamal? Like gimilut chasadim comes from the word gamal. Why? Because a camel has a very interesting trait. When you come to attack a camel, it does chesed with his enemy. How? Usually animals that try to attack a camel, they think he's like weak. Sometimes a camel, he lifts his 2 legs up and does this weird like noise, like with his mouth. He has a weird sound, and he gives the predator time to run away. He realizes that the guy made a mistake. He attacked the wrong guy. I'm an ox. Some guy comes to attack Kasab, made a mistake. You give him time to wait, or you don't give him time to wait before you slug him. Wait at least a minute. Tell him, listen, you don't know who you're messing with. I'm giving you time to kish. Right? If you do that, that's called chayset. I'm giving the guy a time to leave. The gamal, he lifts his legs and gives the animal that's attacking him time to leave. You made a mistake. You touched the wrong guy. So the camel, it represents chesed. Whenever you see chesed, it's always with camels. Eliezer the gemalim, Rivka and the gemalim. You always have camels wherever you go with chesed. So, Bilam has a hamor.
Okay.
Different animal, different, right? So, Yitzchak only sees camels. You know what he sees? He saw Rivka. For sure he saw Rivka. But he wasn't focused on the exterior features of Rivka. He saw the camels, he saw chesed. He saw her coming, he saw, I see a girl coming, she's got a chesed. I see it. I'm looking for that special thing. Yitzchak knew, I'm looking for a certain act of kindness, and she's got it. However, you would think he likes her, right? You would think he loves her. The girl is ready for her. It's a perfect marriage. She trusts that Eliezer has the perfect incentive in his mind for him. But the Pasuk says it's something amazing, and it's really, really mind-boggling. Because this is exactly the opposite of what we all thought in life. Listen to the next words of the Pasuk. The Pasuk says, Vayavieha Yitzchak ha'ohela Sarah imo. After Yitzchak and Rivka meet, exchange, hello, how are you, whatever. He takes her back to his back to his mother's house. Sarah. She passed away in this parasha. She passed away. After she passed away, Yitzchak takes Rivka back to his mom's house. Why? To see something. He takes her back to the house. Vayikach et Rivka vatihi lo leisha. He takes her back to the house of Sarah, of his mother's house, and then he marries her. Vatihi lo leisha. And then it says, Vaye'ahaveha. And he loved her. The question should be,
What do you say?
wouldn't you love her before you marry her? Right? Isn't that a golden question? It should say, Vaye'ahaveha. Tikach lo leisha. First you love somebody, and then you marry them. I don't know anyone that here that didn't love someone that they married. I hope not, right? We hope that everyone loves the one you marry, or the one you plan to marry. You have to have love. So the question is, how do you love someone after marriage? Pasuk says it straight out. It's an amazing question.
You're saying this is the first time mentioning Ahava in the Torah?
The first time it mentions that between man and woman,
So
love.
what was the other times, like loving?
Hashem tells Abraham, take the son that you love. Kach et bincha asher ahavta, the one that you love.
First time there was a man and a woman.
Right? Yeah. This is the first time man and woman is getting married. So the first time we talk about love in the Torah, and this is the whole nature. This is the whole. Anything that has to do with love is right here.
It's like the random books.
So it seems to be like love comes after marriage. That's what it seems to be. We can discuss this all night if we want. According to this pasuk, love comes after marriage. What does that mean? How do you marry someone that you don't love? So now we begin to explain. Let's discuss this now as a class. Is love a physical thing or a spiritual thing? What do you guys think? I want to hear some takers. Is love physical or spiritual? Yeah. Both? What comes first? What comes first? You have
According
to.
to the Torah,
But your answer is spiritual.
sounds like physical.
No.
We're born on. We
On the
see
same-
how she looks and then everything.
On the
Like
same,
kindness.
my man. On
Then
this,
look at how kind she is and then marry her. We'll look how hot she
I'm on the same plan as you. I got married for exterior. You like someone for the way look.
Impression is a look.
Yeah.
First thing is you don't even look.
100%.
You don't even look at her.
100%.
You don't even talk to her, but
So it says here, Vayikach vatihi lo leisha. He marries her. He has to marry her on base of what? He obviously has to like the person the way she looks. Because if not, then nothing exists. You can't. If I don't like the way this tastes, I'm not going to drink it. You can force it down my throat, but I don't want it. You have to like someone that you're going to marry. It's got to be the first grounds of everything. The exterior features have to be meaningful, right? I'm not saying that you have to look for the perfect number one thing, but it's got to be enough of an incentive that you want to be with your woman. If not, you're not going to have any ta'ava. You're not going to have any opportunity to have kids. You can't do it. You need someone that's going to give you the opportunity to have piru ubu. So the first thing you need to have is you need to have a grounds features of that you accept. You have to have that mutual thing. We'll put that on the side. That I think we all agree on. You need to have. No one's marrying a box. I don't think anyone's going to marry cardboard. They need to have a woman that they like and looks good. But once that thing is done,
Does it sound like that from this story? That ground thing is even true?
that's what I'm saying. It has to be, because it's not that you cannot. First of all, the halakha says you cannot marry somebody
You don't see
unless
them.
you see them.
Yeah.
Which means you have to approve of the person you're marrying. Unless it's a forced marriage, and then in that case, it wouldn't be good. You cannot marry out of force. It's got to be mutual. If you say, I want to marry her, and she has to also agree. So, a lot of people could fake it, that they both mutually love her, right? But then later on, they might break up. But hopefully, when there's a first marriage, it's mutual. So it sounds to be like from the grounds here, that there was mutual love. There had to be not love. There had to be a mutual connection in physicality and exterior looks. But after that happens, it says here that they loved him. He loved her. From here we learn that the definition of love that we believe in, that everyone understands the love, it comes after marriage. It does not come before. What happens before? Something called lust. Lust is totally different than love. Lust is, I have a desire based on whatever I know about you right now. I don't know that much about you, but whatever I know about you right now, I want to be a part of that. That's lust. From whatever I see right now, I don't know what the secrets are about you. I don't know what happens at night. I don't know what happens in the morning. I don't know all those things about you. I don't know them yet. I just met you 2 days ago, right? I have no clue. But lust means I agree and I accept and I like what I'm looking at. And I want this. The way I see it now, I want it. It's lusting. Again, I don't know that much. I still want it. It's lust. I'm going after my eyes. And you need to have that. But love is when I realize everything else about you. And I love what I chose. Again, if I give you an example, you go buy a car, right? So you buy the car that you want because you have this dream in your mind, that you have this lust in your mind, that you picture yourself driving, and you have all the right dreams about it. You get in the car, and you end up hating it. I'll give you a funny story. It's not so funny for me, but it was funny for whatever it is. I went on a honeymoon, right? So I want to impress my wife. I want to make a big thing. So I went to Florida for like 3 days, and I decided I'm going to call up this exotic, car rental thing, right? I'm going to rent a crazy car. I never drove in my life. All right, spent $600. I rented a Ferrari. Right? It wasn't a new one. It was like,
I saw you, proof.
Right? Saw it?
I saw you.
It was like a 360 Modena in those days, like the old one, the red one with the things in the back. It was a cool thing. I'm excited, like, wow, it's cool. I didn't care about my wife. I'm like, I'm going. I don't care about you, right? I'm excited. Right? I'm psyched. I'm like, you know what? We're gonna drive. So where are you gonna go? We're going to Key. We're going down to the Florida Keys. It's a 3-hour drive down the highway, the coastal highway. You've been there, right? You ever see there? Beautiful in the Caribbean waters. It's my dream. Okay, there's 2 things that happen now. I'm expecting I'm going to drive and I'm going to see the water the whole time. Okay, the car was so low that the median on the side blocked my whole view the whole time. I was like, I wish I got a Wrangler. Right, I had a Wrangler, I would see the whole thing. I was like, oh man, I murked everything. That was the first thing. The second thing is I didn't realize for this car, for some reason, when you hit 20, it's like it shifts gears. I don't know how to drive clutch. Right? I didn't realize what it was. And I'm driving 25 the whole time. I'm trying to hit the 60, it's not working. My wife, she took lessons in Israel about stick shift. She knows how to drive it. She was telling me how to maneuver, whatever it was. I went 30, 40 the most. And not only that, the speed limit on the coastal highway was like 35, and it's only one lane. You got nowhere to go. And there's guys in front of you, there's guys there enjoying the scenery because I have higher cars. I'm the guy down here, I see nothing. Totally loss of whatever money I spent there. Yeah, it was one of the things that I really regret. I wish I got a Wrangler, I could see everything, I would love it. But it happens. Sometimes in life, you dream of this beautiful car, and it was the worst thing you ever did. Right? So hopefully it's not a woman, right? But trying to make that example connect, but hopefully it doesn't happen. But that's what love is. Love is when you get into the new relationship and then you actually decide what I'm seeing now, I love it. I see everything about you. I'm learning these new things, and yeah, things might be a little weird and strange, but I love everything about it. So if he loved her, the question is why and what made him love her? And the next words is Vayinachem Yitzchak acharei imo. See, his mother just passed away, and he was distraught. Yitzchak was depressed. He was in big time depression. He couldn't find that sense of elevation to get him out of that rut that he was in after his mom passed away. And he brought Rivka back to the house. Vayinachem, he felt much better. He actually had that gap in his heart was filled up with Rivka. Why? Why does Rivka replace the hole that his mom left with the void? How does that fill up the place? And from here you see, by the way, you take a woman according to what you expect that you learned from your mother. Which means you grew up in the house with your mom, you have a certain idea of what you want in life. You base it on that. You don't base it on the girl you saw in a magazine or the girl you saw in a movie somewhere. You base it on your mother. What did your mother do? What your mother didn't do? All different things that you have based on your mom, you take a woman based on that. So it says here, Vayinachem Yitzchak acharei imo. After his mother, what do you mean after his mom passed away? Yeah, after what his mother taught him, after the image of he had of his mom, that's how you base your wife. Think of it, how would it connect? How would it match? And in this case, it was the exact same match. I'll tell you what happened. You see, by Sarah's Minno's tent, she had 3 things that were always there. There was a candle lit from Erev Shabbat, from Friday night, and it stayed lit the whole entire week till the next Friday night. You never had light candles, it was always lit. That was one ness. Second ness was that the bread that she always made bread, and the halot were always fresh and tasty, and they were always warm. Also a big ness. And the third one was that there was always a cloud, a shekhinah, like a hovering cloud, always above her tent. That the shekhinah was always there. And when she passed away, those 3 things left. Yitzchak comes and finds Rivka. And he hears all about the chesed, he hears all about the camels. He says, wow, this girl's got everything going for her. Everything's been checked so far. I want to find that one thing. Is she going to be like my mother, yes or not? He brings her back to the tent. You know why? To see what's going to happen. Bring her to the tent to see if those signals light on. Rashi says when he brought her to the tent, the first light went on. The nid that was lit when Sarah was alive turned back on. And then the baracha, she saw that the food in the house got blessed. Immediately as she entered the house, the baracha was there, the smell, the aroma, everything was different. And then the cloud came back. And then he says, Vayinachem. He was finally happy, and he was such more satisfied. Why? Because finally he got a person that is based on his mother's image. It's exact compatibility. It's exactly. He filled that void in his heart based on what he expected from his mom. The question is, I'm a little deeper now. Out of all the things in the world that Sarai Imenu did, 3 things, these are the things that are going to give her credibility. This is what she did. Again, the candles were lit, the bread was always fresh, and there was a anan over her tent. That's the biggest thing you can tell about her. Okay, so the bread was fresh. So what? How about all the chesed she did? How about all the things that she did in the house? How about going and getting kidnapped by Paro, Avimelech? How about telling Abraham, her husband, I'm going to go and travel and leave my house and leave everything I have and follow you, because you know why? Because God spoke to you and told you to leave. I'm going to follow you. I didn't hear it. I'm going to follow you. All those miracles that happened. That's not what we talked about. It's just the bread was hot. So why these 3 things? And we'll hear tonight what a marriage needs to have. It's these 3 pillars in marriage that keep everything going. The first thing we'll talk about is the cloud. The anan. What was the cloud there for? The cloud represents protection, but it also represents separation, to cover. Tzniut, modesty. So that was covered. She was always inside. Ayeh Sarah Ishtecha, where's your wife? In the tent. She's making the food. She's inside. Right? You go places, sometimes it's opposite way around. It's a woman first, always woman first. We live in a world that women have to go first. Nothing wrong with women. They always can, Baruch Hashem, we respect them much more than they respect themselves. Our religion is all based on respecting the woman. The woman goes after the husband in everything in life. We're together. The husband has to lead in all the tough things in life. Right? The woman doesn't go in the front, not because she can't. For sure she could. Because the woman knows her spot. I get things done from the back. I'm like the guy in the football game. You know the guy in the top of the, what's it called? The guy in the, not bleachers. The guy in this thing in the office up there. What's it called?
No, but they stay in the item. No, but they stay
when there's a 2-minute conversion, and they need to play, they call the guy upstairs. What's his name? Is that the play coordinator, right? Offensive coordinator. He's not on the field. He's upstairs. He's in that office. He's in the box. Whatever. He's in the thing, and he watches the whole field. I'm not a big guy. Also, I'm just saying what I know. But the guy is in the box. He can tell what's going on. So that's like the woman. The woman's in the box. She's up there in the office. She knows everything that's going on. She can coordinate all the plays. We're the men on the field. We think we're doing the action. It's the guy up there calling the shots. It's the woman. She calls the shots in the family. We think we call the shots, but it's not. It's really the woman. We think it is. So Sarah was fine being where she was. She was behind the tent. She was good. That was the first thing. Tzniut. You have to have a certain level in everyone's family. You need to have a certain level of modesty, knowing where your levels are, knowing what's proper in your family. Everyone has their own level. We're not going to get into it. Everyone knows what's right and wrong. We'll go to the next one. The next one was, are you with me? The next one was chalot, the bread. What do we care if the bread was fresh or not? I don't care. I eat bread if it's not fresh. What do you care if it's hot? If it stayed hot the whole week, what does that mean?
You gotta cook.
Makes sure she's a good cook.
It makes her a good cook. The concept here is not that it's just that the bread was fresh. It's much deeper than this. Much deeper. Let me ask you a question. If I tell you, Morris, that your oven's always hot, What does that mean?
It's the only reason why
Why
we
it's always cooking?
What does that mean that your oven's always
no
hot?
matter what I do, it's good.
Or your refrigerator is always stacked? Right? What does it tell you about the person? You go into someone's house, there's always a smell in the house.
They host and
They host and
they take care of the family.
so their house is based on something.
Giving.
On giving. They're always worried about hosting, taking care. There's always things they're always anticipating something coming on.
Always
Both
action.
night.
Sarah, the chalot, were always ready. She was always expecting to do chesed and host and open her house. She was always ready. The whole week, her house was always ready for people to come in. You see people like that we see, that they're always ready to get people into their house. They can't wait to have people in their house. They love it. It's a certain midah, and there's some people that can't stand people in the house. When are they going to kiss? When are they going to kiss? Tell them to kiss already. Under the table is kicking them. Get out of their house. Stop hecking, right? Talking about all these things. Kish, right? And the guy's like, oh, leave me alone. I'm talking to the guy. Get him out of the house. I'm tired. You have to know when to do it, when to go to sleep. Because sometimes you have someone Friday night, and you're coming and you're talking, and your wife is exhausted because she cooked the whole meal. And she's enjoying it until a certain point, till it's like 10 o'clock and you're still talking and the guest is hecking more than you are, right? And then he's there till 12 o'clock, you want him to kiss and he's not leaving himself. You can't kick him out, so yet the guest has to know derech eretz, when it's time to kick it. You know what I mean? If you see the guy is exhausted and he's trying to kiss you, no any time to leave it, right? You have to know, the guy has to know how to be nice to the guest, and the guest has to know to be nice to the Baal Bayit. There's a time to kill it. You have to know. So, if someone's always willing to host, that means that the house is always built around chesed. That was the chalot. And the last thing was that the candle was always lit. Listen to this beautiful thing. When the candles are lit, before I say the candle thing, question for you. Michael, if you have if someone has only enough money for two things, he can either buy Hanukkah candles or Shabbat candles. What should he buy? Why? Hanukkah candles are beautiful.
Wait, it's much different. Shabbats, yeah, you have 52 Shabbats a year.
Let's say it's on Hanukkah time.
Hadir Kodem, no?
On Hanukkah time. Right. So that's that one answer.
It's more
every time.
You have Hanukkah candles. It comes once a year. You want to do Hanukkah
Yeah,
candles.
Shabbat's with Torah. It's a legit Shabbat.
Okay.
Shabbat candles is
Okay.
the woman.
So you're saying the man has to buy Shabbat candles and not the Hanukkah candles?
Woman has to really buy the Shabbat candles.
The answer is that if you have only enough money to buy, if it was that week happened to be a week that Shabbat and Hanukkah came together, and you only had enough money for Shabbat or Hanukkah candles, buy Shabbat candles. You know why? Because Shabbat candles represent Shalom Bayit. And if there's no Shalom Bayit, nothing else exists in the house. Halakha. Halakha. Shabbat or Hanukkah, Shabbat comes first. Why? Because all the Torah and the Hanukkah, all that could be all great. If there's no Shalom Bayit, everything falls apart. So if that's the case, if a candle represents Shalom Bayit, then what does it mean when it says that Sarah Imenu, her house, the candles were always lit from Friday night till Friday night? It means there was always the candles lit. What does that mean?
Always Shalom.
That means that her house was always the same way it felt on Friday night, like it does in our house, the whole entire week. Let's think about it for a second. There's one time in the week that's so special, and you can't put a title on it. You can't compare it. You can't describe it. It just is. It's a bliss. It's called Friday night, Erev Shabbat. When you go to shul, and she's home, or the family, whatever the family is doing, table's set, right? The food's ready. It's like that moment where things are just pleasant. There's no worries. Finish working, right? The phones are down, everything's down. It's just coming home to eat and enjoy the family. It's just that it's a good, whatever time it is. If it's an hour, if it's 2 hours of just calmness, it's a special time. Anyone can agree. It's a special time, that Friday Erev Shabbat time. The amount of Shalom Bayit at that moment is huge. The only problem is that the Yetzer Hara, he knows that this is the time to have Shalom Bayit, so he's going to try to make fights. So Erev Shabbat on Friday night, that's the time when most fights are prone to happen. Why? Because it's such a holy time. The Yetzer Hara tries his best to fix it. To ruin it. That means the guy's gonna come home late. What happened? Why you late for? The food, this got burned, that got burned. Why you late? Don't ask. The guy was in shul, was talking to me. I was talking to him. Yeah, but everyone's sleeping. I'm tired. And they start fighting. Or you get home and by accident you're saying kiddush. 7 you spill it all over her dress. Oh man, I just got this dress thing, and things happen. Small little things happen. To try so hard to say things, make it smooth, but that moment on Friday night is a shalom bayit moment. If you can capture that moment and carry it on the whole week, it'll be amazing. It'll be amazing.
Yeah.
In fact, there was one story, if I remember correctly. There was a rabbi who came over someone's house, and he saw at the house Friday night they were keeping on getting in arguments. He came again the next week, same thing happened. He came again the next week. Again, they were fighting every time the rabbi came. He said, the Yetzer Hara wants me out of this house. Why? Because when I'm here to help the house, help the marriage. Yetzer Hara knows that. So he said, make things happen against his will. So he left. When he left, the family got together, meaning there was things that are going on good. Friday night is a very, very pleasant time. So if that moment of Shalom Bayit kept the whole entire week, it's an amazing thing. It means that their house was always consistently calm. It was always cool. It was always calm. It was always pleasant. That was Sarah's house. And when Yifkach came into that tent that same day, all those 3 signals, they lit on. That's what a Jewish marriage needs. First of all, you need modesty. The second thing is you need to have Shalom Bayit, calmness. But not just calmness like for one minute. It's got to be consistent as much as it can. It's got to be chilled out as much as you can. And the third thing is you have to always be looking to have a good eye. Always try to help out. I end off with one thing. Every Friday night we say a piyut, a poem called Eshet Chayei.
Right there.
It was written, where is it? Right behind Jack, right? There's Eshet Chayei. Abraham Avinu, when his wife passed away, he said that. Eshet Chayei was based on her. The first line says, Eshet Chayei mi imsa. Look at this amazing question. We'll end up with this. Pasuk says, Eshet Chayei mi imsa, which means a woman of a good woman, a woman of valor, a woman that does chesed, mi imsa. Who's going to find her? Which means that she's rare. A woman that does these type of things, she's very rare. At the end, one of the lines down there, it says, Rabot banot asu chayei, which means a lot of girls do chayil, do valor. A lot of girls do chesed. So there's 2 different contradictions. On one hand, you're saying Eshet Chayei mi imsa, a woman of valor, she's rare, unique, you can't find her. And then later on, it says Rabot banot asu chayei. A lot of girls do valor. So what is it? Either she's rare, or there's a lot of them. What's going on? And the answer is very, very deep, and it's very true. There's what's called eshet, and there's a banot. Isha is when she gets married. A banot, is before they get married. Rabot banot asu chayei. Before marriage, a lot of girls do a lot of chesed. They love to do chesed before they're married. I help out here, I do this, I volunteer, my picture's here, I'm everywhere. I am the queen of chesed. Right? You marry her on that base. And then what happens later on when you get married and things aren't the same? Eshet Chayei mi imsa. It's rare. Where's the consistency? You want to be chesed before marriage? Great. Keep it up after. Don't just do it to get married and then stop. Keep it up. Looking for the Eshet Chayei, not that Rabot banot asu chayei. A lot of women can do things, good. But what do you do after you get married? That's the most important thing. It's very important. So from here we learn tonight that love obviously comes after we need to have external love. You have to have that lust. But love from the Torah is based on spiritual features. Kindness, good heart, calmness, pleasant ways, Shalom Bayit. That's what we base it on. That is love. When you have that, B'ezrat Hashem, we should only see simchot in our houses. Amen.